Good days, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize extremely if my camera keeps zooming in and out, and I'm here to talk about video gaming industry. So I'm going to make the first three top comparisons here, and please count with me. Valve, Rockstar Games, Blizzard Entertainment. What do they all have in common? And Activision. They have all four of these corporations, the major big corporations, the big dudes. What do they have in common? They have corporate greed in common. And by that I mean online purchases, online transactions. Shark cards, GTA Online, correct? Alright, Blizzard Entertainment, monthly subscriptions, mount stores, remakes. Wait a minute, that's Rockstar's too. Whew, whew, Rockstars. Valve, I'm pretty sure Valve probably had a remake as well, right? I'm pretty sure, but I'm not really sure. But at the same time, they have a lot of online stores. A lot of people don't look at Valve though. Why? Why don't a lot of people look at Valve? I'll tell you why. Because Valve, in all their gaming years, has made a lot of games that are to this day community based. Team Fortress 2 is the finest example. Team Fortress 2. Oh fuck, Team Fortress 2 is one of the loveliest games I've ever played. No matter even if you quit the game, you somehow still find yourself back because just all the characters, all the videos made around it, all the beautiful SFMs, all everything. The community in Team Fortress 2 is lovely in my opinion. They're awesome, and they get these updates here and there, the patches and stuff. So the games actually get patched and worked on, and the shit that gets added, the new taunts and stuff. Well, they're not shit really. The taunts, the cosmetics that get added, that are mainly Team Fortress 2 community made based. So it's the community selling stuff to Valve. Valve pays them for that stuff. They get a certain percentage out of it, while also people purchase their material from the community market or the Valve market. So Valve is paying the community, but at the same time the community is paying them. And there's a kind of a balance in there. See, so you don't want to, you don't really look at Valve and be like, yeah, why don't you develop games anymore? Like when you look at GTA Online and the other stuff, they don't really have that. Hey, I'm gonna make this. For instance, Valve has made the SFM video maker, so people in most media, even League of Legends, use the SFM video maker in order to make SFM videos in order to release them. And this video maker has been very big in the gaming community. So Valve has contributed to the gaming community a lot compared to GTA Online and Activision and Blizzard Entertainment as a whole, who haven't really contributed shit. Shit. But also in GTA Online, when you purchase something, it's like, Jesus, it's never stopping. It keeps going, and that's what it is. It keeps going. The GTA Online, there's always something you want to purchase, always something you want to buy. Now I'm a reasonable dope myself. I say $10 is enough. That's what I said in Team Fortress 2 until I spent $40, and all of it from the community market. Why? Because the community market is cheap. But then you got to take this into consideration. Now, when my brother buys me a paint for my weapon or for my cosmetic and says, here you go as a birthday gift, you got to take in accountability. How many people do that in the world? Shit ton of people do that in the world. And so when a shit ton of people buy something, either as a birthday gift, either as an anniversary gift, either for your girlfriend, whatever the fuck, you got to think all that money comes in. And of course, if you're a businessman in a big fucking suit and you pay and you get all the paper and talk the paper's there and you pocket the paper, why should you give a fuck? As a businessman, you're getting rich. As a businessman, you're getting, you're set. You're in the fucking Bahamas and you're having a sunny D during COVID times along with the rest of the politicians and the Hollywood producers. As long as they make money, why should they give a fuck developing new material? Gaming industry, filming industry, every industry that gets rich eventually, even fucking construction industries. For instance, I work for the heat and frost insulation service, so I'm an insulator. And I know that my big corporate leaders at the top, they have a lot of money. They don't give a fuck. They know we work for about $800, $1,000 a week. My God, is that how sad my life is? I work for $800, $1,000 a week, and I get taxed so much money. I can't even afford my room. I can't even afford rent. Can't afford nothing. Can't even afford my car payment, my board payment, nothing. But that's the point. The point being is they're making money while we're working for them and while we're paying them. I remember a time where gaming used to be you could escape from the real world, from the problems of the real world. And when you go into the gaming world, it's different than the real world, right? I like games like Bioshock. They don't have something pay to win, or they don't have something that they're coming in and please, but they do have a remaster, so they're guilty. But unlike an online store that's repeatable, right? A remaster store is also repeatable, but once you purchase it once, it's done. You purchased it once, you're done, right? And some people say, what if we tax the gaming corporations more, like the rich? Like Angry Joe Show said that. And I'm here to tell you that won't help at all. The gaming corporations that are currently in power, the main big four, in my opinion, that you commonly hear about, that I just listed, they have a shit ton of money. So right now, if you tax them, they're already rolling in the moolah. They're already rolling in the dough. There's nothing you can do. And the only thing is, if you start taxing the gaming communities, then new gaming communities won't come with brilliant ideas. And I have a feeling that it's been so bad lately, because as a worker myself in real life, as I'm sure many of you who are working in real life, the normal people who are just ground low level, are trying to make something out of your lives. And you realize that the taxes all around you are so much. Like, they're just through the roof. You get taxed more than the money you earn. And I'm in the fucking union here, like the union where you're supposed to be cared for, where you're supposed to get benefits. Well, I'm getting benefits, but I'm not getting. But every time I get a benefit or something, I have to pay a certain tax on those benefits. So no, I'm not getting shit, honestly. And they say, oh yeah, you're getting benefits. Well, what fucking benefits if I still have to pay the union for something? For me, there's no benefit at all. There's nothing, honestly. If anything, I'm sure I could probably get a deduction, reduction, but I'm really worried more about my real life. And I'm sure that anybody who tries to get in the game industry now is having a shit fucking huge problem in getting to the into the gaming industry. While before, in the old days, it was kind of easy. It was kind of the new thing, the norm. Everybody wanted to give it a go, try it. They could easily get into it, put their heads together as a team, make something. Now it's not like that. Now everybody's kind of disconnected from one another. Back then, in the old times, people used to be connected, used to go out more. They could usually find each other more. Nowadays, you can find each other a lot over the internet and stuff. But when you want to get into the game industry, it's not that easy anymore as it used to be. Now there's competitors. Now there's higher taxes on specific things. Now to pay someone to work for your company is more expensive than it was back then. And you have to give in a lot of money, a lot of resources if you want a single game to happen. Now, I wouldn't give a fuck about online transactions in video games if, and I say this, if, and I will reference a couple of people here, like the Ackman, like the Quartering, like the like Swagta, like other hundreds of gamers and other reviewers. Angry Joe himself even pointed out that if you made a new title that is compelling, that is new, that innovates, that is trying to innovate and go a step further, that's trying to make something new, with all that money you're raking in, like Valve, like Activision, like Blizzard, like Rockstar if you were getting all that money to develop something new? I don't care if it would take you a year, 2 years. I care if it takes 5 years, but 2 years, I don't really care about it. But like we learned from CD Projekt Red, game has to be rushed out because we need the moolah, pipe. All right? And lately it's been proved that gamers have become so desperate that they have nothing to play. Now a lot of people are going to say, oh, I have this and that to play. Yes, you do. Thank you. All right, you do. But what happens when you run out? A lot of you guys are probably reaching the stage where you run out, or when the latest games release, you're like, this is not a game. Like, these games suck, or they're incomplete, or they have issues, or they're just not ready, or they're not interesting, or the plot is not good. I've been writing a story called The Book of Dreams. Okay, now I know I'm not advertising it. I'm not saying, oh, you're a writer now, congratulations. No. I still haven't got through the literary agency. But when I finished developing the book, it took me 5 years to figure out what the fuck I wanted. Now after 5 years, I'm developing story material because I want to build a world. And when I made the Book of Dreams, I realized that when I made the Book of Dreams, I made it because I'm just sick and tired of the cliches, politicizing, the typical tropes, the issues in society. I hate the fact that even my gaming has become more like the real world. I'm unhappy even when it comes to gaming. I haven't played a masterpiece since BioShock, Halo, nothing. For all the Warcraft, the old World of Warcraft, everything else, just like our movie industry, like in the old days, sucks nowadays. It just blows. It blows my mind how much money these people are raking in, and they can't make something. A lot of things, a lot of good stories, a lot of good stuff that I remember that people like, oh, that's great, I'm gonna give you an award for that. Like, people get, people got awards for actually giving a shit, for trying. Nowadays, a lot of people's minds are active on a lot of political things that it affects the gaming and film industry, like we saw for Hollywood with Ricky Gervais, I think. I forgot his last name. Sorry. When he mouthed off Hollywood and he said, when you go pick up your award, fuck off. That's what the gaming community should do to them too. You get your money, or you get your award, fuck off, make a new thing, get another award. Keep on trying, keep on innovating. But unfortunately, that's not the year we live in. We live in an age of corporate greed, where there's, unfortunately, the world leans to more stupid people than it does smart people, and where you get under attack on Twitter, where you get under attack on Facebook, where you get under attack basically anywhere, honestly. You have no freedom of expression, no freedom of speech. In my opinion, you don't. But you do. I know you do. But my opinion on social media, you fucking don't. In real life, when you work, it doesn't really feel rewarding. Unless you got a really good fucking job, or unless you found something that's very difficult, or you fulfilled your dream and got something like a job that can actually pay you income and you can keep on going, right? But I have a friend who says, I love my job, I love my income, but he always has to be away from home. He always has to go out of the place he lives to be somewhere away from his home for 7-8 months, because he doesn't earn enough, and he misses being away from home. He comes back home, he hugs his wife and his daughter, and he's so happy. He stays for a couple of more months, and then he goes back because he realizes he needs more money in order to pay off his bills. And I think people lately are like, I appreciate what I have, but yeah, that's it. I appreciate what I have. And that's their mentality. I appreciate all that I have, and I won't try to get anything better. This is the best I can have. And a lot of people can't protest because if they went on a protest for even 7 days, they get fucking taxed. In other words, money, 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 greed, 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 political, 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 political. People don't know what the fuck sex they are anymore. I don't care if you're a transgender. I don't care if you're lesbian. I don't care if you're fucking gay. I don't care if you suck cocks for a living. I don't give a fuck what you do in your life. But please don't turn to me and say, call me they. No, if I see you and you look like a man, I'm going to call you a he. If you don't like it, go away. Simple like that. If I don't like a game, I'll go away from the game. But the thing is, some people take it too far, and they tell me, I need you to call this person this. I'm like, I haven't even met this person yet. If this person says, call me this, I'll call them that to their face. But as soon as I turn around, I'm going to call them what they are. She, he. Because man, woman. Two genders exist in this world. The others are just your choice of what the hell you want to be called and how you perceive yourself. That's how people perceive themselves. But my point being is, when I wrote the book, I realized everybody perceives things their own way. Every single person perceives things their own way. And this is how I perceive the world. As greedy, corporate, and as money hungry as they can come. Too much taxes, too much inflation, and politicians not giving a shit. Our schools being so poor that people believe that Nazis are the good guys now. And communism taking over in its own form over the entire world. Not taking over, already has. Just look at Disney. That's another fine fucking example right there. Good job, Disney. How's those sweatshops going fucking in China? Congratulations. In other words, the world is fucked. And I've been trying to publicize my book, right? And it has some material that's offensive to the LGBTQ community, which is the only reason why I've mentioned it in this video. And it has some things offensive to the real world community. It tells truth about the real world in an epic fantasy setting, in a world that is not planet Earth. And when one of the agents saw this, they said, we can't have that because it affects the audience. The audience who will see this, your book will be banned for and will be taken down because it mentions these problems. And then I said to the literary agent, well, I can't remove that, and I won't remove it even if you decline. And I wrote this in my message. I said to the agent that I will not decline censorship on a grand scale, not because I'm doing something wrong and I want to hurt people. That's not the motivation here at all. I'm doing this because I gotta stay true to the character. Okay, now remember, now I'm gonna explain it really quick. The world happens in a medieval time, and back then a lot of gay people, even not lesbians because they're women, and I'm not being sexist, it's a fucking fact, but gay people, for instance, were being fucking prosecuted on a really high level, right? And back then, in my epic fantasy, I mentioned we even have transgenders and that they're killing them, okay? And two characters are talking about their opinion on them. One character is completely okay with it, the other one is not. That's it. And I have another scene where there's three mafiosos talking about it. One mafioso is fine with it. Another is like, I have my opinions on it, but I don't care as long as they get me money, and if they're moving along in life, they're doing their own thing. That's me. If you're doing your own shit, you want to be a transgender, you want to be a lesbian, you want to be gay, God bless you. Go on. As long as you're not hurting anybody, do what the fuck you want with your body. I view it like body modification and piercings. And then there's the third person, the dumb one, the negative one. Kill them because they're disgusting. And because I have those scenes in my book, an agent said no. And I told the agent, you gotta be true to the characters. There's gotta be conflict. of why these characters are doing what they're doing. And this character disagrees with something, and this character agrees with something, and they're arguing between their ideologies of, hey, what do I agree in? Hey, what do I agree in? Hey, what do I agree in? And they're killing each other because this guy's like, I want mine to prevail. I want mine to prevail. But if suddenly they're like, yo, dude, man, let's shake hands. Sure, homie. Why are we shaking hands? Because we don't want to offend anybody. And that's what it is. If you offend anybody in China, if you offend anybody on Twitter, if you offend somebody in the book industry, it's taken down. The world is a giant censorship banana. Censorship on a grander fucking scale. It already is. And you gotta censor everything to make money. And people are wondering, why aren't there any good stories out there? Even if all these gaming corporations, even if all this film, why aren't there good movies anymore? Why isn't there good plotted stories? Because we restricted everything, ladies and gentlemen. And we don't allow writers, we don't allow creators, we don't allow people to release something on their own. And a lot of people have to go around these loops. You know, they have to go around these lines, these barricades, these walls to reach an end goal where they can finally publish something. And because we put so many obstacles there, so many restrictions, so many political ideas, call me they, call me this, like we're dealing with so much shit in real life already. Why do we have to deal with this? And when you say I'm declining your book that I've spent fucking like a month at least editing because of it might offend somebody, I'm like, but it's fucking fiction. Just like in video games when they try to politicize something, I'm like, but it's a game. It's a video game. And same thing with a movie. It's a movie. It's a fucking movie. It depends what kind of a movie it is. Just like it depends what kind of video game it is, but it's a fucking fiction, man. It's a fiction. Mine set in a epic fantasy world that doesn't even happen in your world. And there you go. If gamers look at Cyberpunk, they're going to be like, Cyberpunk doesn't have a variety of creatures. Well, CD Projekt Red made a Witcher series. Wait a minute. No, they didn't. A writer made that. He built the world. But he didn't involve the real world in it or mention something from the real world. Well, he did, but he didn't do it to a scale that I mention it. And my world is completely different than his. But the point being is they had his story to work on. And much like the disastrous ending of Season 8 of Game of Thrones, if you don't have content to work on, a story, the foundation of your fucking series, then expect your project to tank because you don't have time to develop the story while you're doing gaming development. CD Projekt Red has an excellent gaming design, platform design, but what they have in development, what they really have in talent and development, they lack in story writing. And that's why I believe Cyberpunk failed. But at the same time, I feel it's been affecting everything around the world lately. A lot of restrictions. This leads to restriction of art. And if you restrict art, what the fuck is the point anymore? If you restrict the foundation, the founding of a possible future game, of a possible future series, something you can make to innovate, to bring something new to the shelves of the audience. How do you expect gaming to get better? How do you expect this to get better, that to get better? And then I watch a lot of videos about these literary agents, saying what they want in the series. And when you kind of listen to them, you're like, a literary agent says, guys, please just Google it online. And on YouTube, there's videos too, where a literary agent said that I prefer this type of genre. I prefer the narrative to go this way. um, because of paperback reasons, paper reasons, for how big your book is going to be and how costly it's going to be to produce them. I want your paper to be this much, right? And I'm like, okay, I get it. You want my paper to be, you know, maximum 300 pages, 400 pages long. Uh, for an epic fantasy, I think it was like 500, which mine is. But if there's anything offensive, you gotta remove it. And that doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. But also, it's gotta be our way in how we see it. How we see it, it should be. What we like needs to be in there. And I'm like, what? What? Why? Why does something that you like have to be in there in order for it to get published? And I just realized lately that people are too picky. They're too picky. And they don't give things a chance. They don't like something new unless it's really well fucking thought out. Really well thought out in narrative, in twists, like BioShock. Like, that was fucking excellent, in my opinion. Like, wow, they've outdone themselves. And I'm taking years to think of what I want to develop. And the book I'm going to release, Book of Dreams, is going to be for the gaming industry. It's made for to be a gaming sort of narrative. Like, it's an epic fantasy, but it could easily be a game. It could easily adapt into a movie series if it wanted to. It has a lot of connecting elements that question society, greed, corporations. But it's not like Cyberpunk where it says, why do you hate the corporation? Because fuck corporations. No, it's got to have conflict, a reason, and it's not. It doesn't have to be Game of Thrones. It doesn't have to be BioShock. But you need a good fucking foundation, a good story, a good intro. You need to world build. You need to make a really good foundations, and foundations, like a story of a foundation can't turn out interesting from the start because you're building that foundation until you get to the middle. The middle, always for me, the part, like Mad Max Fury Road, the Mad Max the series, that Fury Road movie, fucking excellent, but he had to build the foundation up before he got to that fucking excellence. And I feel lately that we just don't have time to build our excellence, to build the art that we want, because we're just too picky, restrictive. We censor everything. We charge things too much. And yeah, I just wanted to speak my thoughts of what I think about the world today. I just don't like the world today, and I don't like anything. Honestly, I don't like transactions. I don't like the gaming industry as it is as a whole. I don't like that when I write something that it's restricted. I don't like censorship. I don't like censorship, restrictions, nothing. I don't like how much I get paid. I don't like that no matter how much I try to publish one fucking book after 5 years of development that I can't just because it offends somebody. I don't like it that I have to write it according to people's way, right? I know I have mistakes in it. For fuck's sake, I find editors and shit too. I ask people to read through my book. I ask them, hey, can you correct this for me? And if you correct this, or if you think something has to get corrected, could you correct it for me? I went through it like fucking at least 10 times already correcting it. And now I've got to the point where I can't do nothing, and it still gets rejected just because it offends somebody. And it's like, for fuck's sakes, man, just, it's a lot of restrictions, a lot of censorshipping, a lot of making money by just having your thumb up your ass. And I'm just struggling because I want, one day I have this dream that I'm gonna, if I ever start a gaming corporation, I'm actually gonna give a fuck about my community. Like, I'm gonna develop new games and new games one after the other. I'm gonna put everything into my story, my whole heart and emotions. But the thing is, I never wanted to be a video game developer. I always wanted to develop the story. Because in the story, I do everything: world build, name the regions on the map, draw those maps, make the characters, make the lore behind everything. What is the Book of Dreams? I make the races, and maybe one day I'm going to talk about my races, like the races I've designed in my Book of Dreams, and the environment. And I really, really just want to develop a world with a gaming industry that's not too greedy, that has my back, that I could develop with, that I could tell them, hey, this is, what I want to be put in the story, but I realize you have to work for that. And unfortunately, my real life job now with code and everything else, it's too much. I can't even find. I can't find any free time whatsoever to do the dreams I want. And my book is ironically called Book of Dreams because they're my dreams. And they're the dreams I hope one day to share with people before I die. That's why I've written the Book of Dreams, because it's the only thing I have left to do. Everything else is, I don't want to work in an environment where I don't know where to go to anymore. I'm just lost. I don't know who to turn to anymore. Coding has never been my special thing. Modeling has never been my special thing. I have a damaged vein that also screws up when I type. When I write on a piece of paper and when I draw. I can't write and draw properly because I got this damaged vein. That's a long story. But the point being is, I can write like a motherfucker. I'm so imaginative. I have this plan. I have this world. And I hope one day that if I ever find a game industry and they took interest in my story, I want to be there and tell them, this is how I want my world to be. This is what I want to do to the community. I want the community members who play my game to go into this region. I want to make the world big, expanded. I don't want micro fucking transactions. I want them to go through a story and enjoy it. And if they don't enjoy it, I want to try again. But the thing is, if you fail nowadays in any game you develop, any game, if you make one mistake, if you make two mistakes, or if you don't attract the specific audience that you want, you lose a lot of money. In every new game that you create and you gain a lot of money, it's not that big amount of money as you might think. So the online services actually pay you a lot for that income, right? They give you that income so you can develop more. But all the corporations stop developing because they don't want to take a risk of being like, oh, well, if my story is not good or if my game is not good, I want to earn a lot of money. I'll lose that money, the money that I could have kept, right? And that's what the gaming industry is doing nowadays. They're saving up money for what? God knows. But the point being is, if I ever made a game, I'd say to myself right now, I don't want microtransactions, and I don't. If I ever had to implement them, they'd be like Team Fortress 2, where it's like, but it wouldn't be for the reskins. It'd probably be for like taunts, cosmetics, but not reskins, no recolors. I'd really like, in Team Fortress 2, I'd really like that to be a part of the game where you can actually, where those skin colors drop and where you can reskin your stuff, right? I hate the fact that you have to buy them, that you have to uncrate them because you have to buy keys to uncrate them. Holy fuck, Team Fortress 2 has a lot of microtransactions now. Actually, never mind, Valve, you're also fucking microtransaction a lot. But the point being is, I wouldn't add too many microtransactions. And if I ever did that to some scale, I'd keep on developing new games because I know there's an income I'm getting. Right? Because if you have a backup income in case you fail, you can develop a lot of things and pay a lot of employees. Just look at Activision, 200 million to Bobby Kotick, fire the others. But the point being is, they don't care, gamers. They don't care, world. Nobody cares. Even you wouldn't care if you got money in your pocket. But I feel I would care. Because I love video games so much. But I like the old days of video games. Not the abomination that they have become nowadays. Like, in corporate greed style. I acknowledge new games out there that have been released. Wonderful games. And games that might be coming out that might, you know, help us. But what I'm seeing, like Valheim. Good job, Valheim. Keep going, Valheim. But the point being is, you have to wait now. Just like in real life, for something good to come along. And when it comes along, it's rare, it's legendary. And when real life resembles gaming now too, where you have to wait constantly for something new and innovative to appear out of nowhere, rare and legendary, realize that gaming is no different than real life anymore. It's boring, it's a mess, and by the time you get something, and when you finish it, you're like, when's a new thing gonna come out? Or when I'm gonna get a new paycheck so I can finally go on vacation? When I'm gonna get a tax return, right? It's one of those rare, lovely moments. They're rare now in gaming. And that's why I hate corporations. That's why I hate greed. That's why I hate transactions. That's why I hate restrictions. That's why I hate censorship. That's why I hate people who are confused what gender they are. That's why I hate people forcing their ideas onto me, or the ideologies, or politicizing things. That's why I hate the world. That's why I hate the world. And Book of Dreams has a lot of elements of, why the fuck are you doing this? Why the fuck are you doing that? What the fuck are you thinking, basically? And it's trying to give you a story where there's people who are actually helping the world, and you, the protagonist, are killing them. That's it. While the politicians who are trying to improve your world are actually not are not improving it. And that's it. And you're killing them. Point being is, even in the past, people have been killing people who actually help them out, who actually try to give them something from the heart. And today is the same way. Today, a lot of people, the bad ones, are in power. They don't give a fuck. And they care for the moolah, just like they did in the past. And they will stop at anything, put anyone down. They will use the audience against them if it means they can keep on being on their seats, smoking their cigars, and having dough inside of their pockets. The world hasn't changed for shit. It never has. And it's sad to me to see where we're going so far. Some people say we're going back to the communist era. With China, it might seem so, but we're not. We're going to something far worse. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen in a couple of years, or maybe even 10 years, in a decade. But do I have hope that a new game is going to come out, like a good game? Do I have hope that some reasonable taxes are going to come along, and that we're actually going to be able to afford vacations again in real life? No. Honestly, no. Do I expect a riot and that people will kill each other like they're doing already in America for black protests and shit? Black Lives Matter? Yes. Will racism stop ever? No. It hasn't stopped in ancient times. Why should it stop now? And that's what I'm going to say. People are always going to kill each other, get too greedy for money, and that's the way of the world. So to all of you artists out there, people who are worrying about who's going to get offended if I write this, develop this, Who gives a fuck? Just develop it. Follow your heart. Do your dreams. Try your best. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But for the love of God, don't kill yourself. And those people who say, I don't want to marry a woman because I might end up like Johnny Depp, I completely understand you. That's a whole different topic. But that's, again, censorship and a restriction. And ideology pushed on you. So are you seeing a pattern here? Everything in our life is kind of censored, restricted, or we're told we can't do this or that or whatever. So if you look at everything as a whole, when your gaming is connecting to your real life, when your sexual problems are connecting with gaming and real life, not because of you, but because of specific people who think they're one and the same thing, who think that a female character in a game is equal to a female character in their life, that's how you know the world is fucked. So lately, I've decided whenever I write anything down, I don't give a fuck anymore. Because to appease anyone, to please anyone in this world, is an NP complete problem. If you don't know what an NP complete problem is, Google it, find out. But the point being is, fuck it all to hell, dude. Just fuck it all to hell. I'm out. Peace. I don't know what to say anymore. I got high when I made this. And I just had a really bad day. Please smash the dislike button. I heard YouTube's gonna remove it soon. Oh, good job, YouTube. Another way of fucking censoring me. But point being is, I got also really angry when I heard about the YouTube fucking dislike button removed. Why are you removing the YouTube dislike button? Why the fuck are you